Hey squad, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ryan, and in today's video we are taking a look at the MTW MK18. This is of course by Wolverine Airsoft in collaboration with EMG. In this video I'm going to run down a few key features that makes this gun really stand out and show you some stuff that I really like about it personally. This isn't so much a review as it is kind of my opinion and just what I've found over the course of the past 3 months. Due to this gun's $1,000 price tag, when I initially got it, I was like, I want to find something on here that I genuinely don't like. And I was looking for cons. I went into this with a very, not negative mindset, but I was really wanted to find stuff that I didn't like. And to be honest with you, I couldn't find anything that really, well, I couldn't find anything I didn't like. So I guess the question is it worth that $1,000 price tag? Let's look at some of the features. So let's talk about build quality. So the upper and lower receiver are made from a forged 7075 aluminum. It's pretty solid. The trademarks on this bad boy on the lower receiver are CNC machined, so they are very authentic. I mean, this is exactly how they do it on an actual AR-15 or even M16. So love seeing that. The fit and finish on it is great. There's very little wobble between the upper and lower receiver. I know with some guns you will see a little bit of movement, but this thing is tight. And with it being that tight, I was actually fighting to get the upper and lower receiver in, or getting them together. Now I want to just kind of derail the conversation and just talk about assembling. The gun's going to come from the factory in a box where it's in two pieces, your upper and lower receiver. You're going to have to stick them together. And when you're doing that, the assembly of this is identical to an AR-15. So really simple to put in. You just basically back your two pins out on the lower, drop your upper on top of that, put your pins in. Now, keep in mind the battery cable will go to the stock. And that's actually where you're going to store your battery in the buffer tube. When you do that, just make sure you've got proper wire management, that you're not cutting the wiring harness off to the from the battery into the board. You just want to be very cautious and mindful of that. I was paranoid when I was like sticking everything together. I'm like, I do not want to break this bad boy. So I did it multiple times, didn't have any issues. I was just really paranoid. And actually the board for the battery itself, the cable is it's a sturdy cable, so you're not really gonna have any problems there. But it was just something, like I said, I was just paranoid to mess up. So before we go any further, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Jackal Tactical and Specna Arms. The best way to support me and the channel is to go buy your airsoft stuff from them. Buy from Specna Arms and pick yourself up some awesome gear from Jackal Tactical. They've got a website and two convenient locations, one in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, the other one in Conestoga, Pennsylvania at Ambush, Airsoft, and Paintball. Go check them out. Let's get back to the video. So we'll talk about ergonomics a little bit. The stock feels outstanding. The pistol grip is extremely comfortable. It is one of the Daniel Defense pistol grips, and you will find this actually on the Daniel Defense rifles. I've shot real Daniel Defense rifles, and I mean, this thing just feels absolutely outstanding. It features a quad rail up front, which I'm a huge quad rail fanboy. Like I love that. I'm not a fan of key mod or M-lock, anything like that. Get on up out of here. I love me some classic quad rail, and this does not disappoint. Everything just feels great. All right, so this does feature, it also features ambidextrous safety selector, so that's a really cool feature. Love seeing that on here. It also has an empty mag detection and bolt release, which is extremely authentic. And I was bragging this gun up in some of my earlier shorts that I did on the channel. I was like, you know, this is probably one of the most realistic training tools out there. If you wanted something to train with, the MTW, which is a modular training weapon, the MTW line of guns are just perfect for stuff like that. I mean, it is so on point with the real thing, and you can get mags for this that are 30 round mags. So if you really wanted to train like it was the real thing, you could do that. And from a performance standpoint, AEGs are nice for training. HPA just, it's so much better. It's so much more consistent. You're just going to get that consistency. You're going to get a little bit more range out of it. You're going to be able to fine tune it for what you need depending on where you're training or how you're training. So I like that. It features an Inferno Gen 2 HPA engine, which I'm really starting to like the Inferno Gen 2. I've had some experience now with one other one, and it was just absolutely outstanding. So really cool there. I really like Wolverine does a really great job with their products. The gun will come with a PTS EMP MTW magazine that also has the empty mag detection, little dongle thing here sticking up. Just be mindful of how that's going in. It's something you actually can remove too if you choose to do that. But yeah, just keep in mind. I actually, when I was loading or unloading the gun, I forget what I was doing, but it dropped out. And I didn't catch it dropping out, and I almost lost it. So glad I did not lose it. But be mindful of that it can disconnect and come out of the mag. So, and one of my favorite features, and like this is something I should probably save for the end of the video, but I just want to say this right now. I love the toolless disassembly. I love that I don't need any tools for it. I can knock my pins out and I can take this thing down. I wish more airsoft guns were like that. I think this is one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite airsoft guns for 2024 and on. I mean, I absolutely love the MTW MK18. It's just that's a really cool feature, something I really enjoy about this gun. I mean, if you're looking for that perfect milsim gun, this might be it. I got a little distracted there and kind of like went off. Let's talk about shooting at the range. The full auto is extremely consistent. The semi-automatic, the trigger response, everything is kind of what I wanted it to be. I'm not in binary mode. I was just kind of like double tapping the trigger just to get that nice cadence going, and it just everything felt perfect. Stock, the length of pull, the hand and palm position on the grip, just everything was just perfect. I mean, the gun just shoots nice. It feels comfortable. It comes in at about 6 pounds, so it's really comfortable. Now that's dry weight, obviously. We're not talking about optics, lights, anything like that. So we're right at 6 pounds, which I think is respectable for what it is, especially for its length. It's right on the money. It's right where it needs to be. So, anyways, at the range, didn't have any problems. Range-wise, I was stretching it out past everything visible in the shooting range, the shooting gallery. I didn't really get to stretch its legs, but I know for a fact that the gun will perform out to well past 200 feet. Obviously, with it being HPA, and I don't need to say this to experienced people, however, velocity will vary depending on how you set your regulator on an HPA gun. I get this question a lot when I talk about HPA guns, and I've had people asking, well, what's the velocity? Well, the velocity depends on what you set your regulator at. So you can adjust it to shoot indoors and outdoors. You can push it to the field's maximum limit for that type of gun, which is really nice. And one of the reasons why I really, really, really like HPA, I know a lot of newer players shy away from it, and they view HPA players as like these high tier airsoft operators. I'm like, you're really not. It's just giving you the ability to fine tune your gun. Like, that's all it is. I mean, ripping out a spring and cutting it down on an AEG is lame compared to just what you can do with an HPA gun. So I'm leaning towards just sticking with more HPA guns, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. I've got other videos on that, so check those out. The full auto was really consistent. I didn't have any issues with it. The magazine fed perfectly. The rate of fire was extremely respectable. Obviously, it is all programmable. I just kind of left it right out of the factory, right out of the box, just to see where we were at performance-wise, because I don't like hot rodding stuff, especially when it comes from the factory and I'm reviewing it on the channel. I'm sure we could push it to the limits to an extent, but at the same time, sometimes it's just nice to see like where we're at with factory settings. So really performed well out of the box. For those of you who are wondering, I was shooting Elite Force .28 biodegradable BBs. It's just kind of what I had at the time, and they were consistent. They were extremely consistent. Didn't have any problems, and I was hitting everything I was aiming at, so that was a plus. Elite Force makes a really good BB, so I like shooting their stuff. And the .28s, that's the lightest I would go for this particular gun. I wouldn't go any lighter than that. So some of the selling points and key features that I really like, and stuff that I'm really like, reasons why I think this is such a great gun. Obviously, one being that toolless disassembly. I just absolutely love that, being able to tear it down so easily in the field or at home or just wherever you're at. You know, you can do that extremely easily. It's got an Inferno Gen 2 in it, so I love that. That's another plus. Everything's programmable, obviously, and with the right tank and regulator, I mean, this setup is just sweet. Obviously, I love the fact that it comes with a PTS mag. It's a 120 round mag, so they're great mags. They're extremely reliable. I've never had any issues with any of the ones that I have. So, I mean, that in and of itself, that's another selling point right there. Is it worth $1,000 for the consistency and reliability? I would have to say yes. The $1,000 price range is definitely warranted for what you're getting. You got to remember, the upper and lower receiver are both forged aluminum and CNC machined, plus CNC engraving on it. So you are getting real steel quality in an airsoft gun. So the amount of work that goes into these guns is absolutely ridiculous. So they are absolutely worth that $1,000 price tag. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I will catch you on the next one.